Did I miss much? Hopefully not. Am I going to play Thea the Shattering in the future? Yeah, more than likely, Kito. Or Kito. Not sure whether that's a big E or not. Yay, T-Bricks. That was nearly perfect timing. I know, right? Platinum Rider. I've been thinking about getting this game. Well, before we get back into everything, then I'll take a quick moment. I'm happy to field any questions anyone has. But I'll start with just addressing the thinking about getting the game. First and foremost, I understand that it's always a bit of a different one for me, just because of the industry I work in. After a while, my appreciation for the value of games starts to change. Even if I don't have a key, or like if a key hasn't been given to me or anything like that, I think it's fair to say most gaming content creators, after a time, even if they're buying their own games, their metric by how they measure what a game is worth changes. So we'll just get that one out of the way. So, take anything I say with a pinch of salt, or at least acknowledge where my opinion is probably coming from. It might be a bit different than it would have been before I was a gaming content creator. But that being said, I did not get into Crusader Kings 2. May as well be Creator King. I literally just made a king, in fact. But I didn't get into Crusader Kings 2, not because I didn't want to, but because it was way too much for me to get into. It was so incredibly content rich, content dense. It would have been like trying to chew on concrete. But I really wanted to, because it is basically a game that almost seems perfect for me. It's got the grand strategy feel to it, but it's got so much story and so much character there. And that's one of the things that attracts me most to the games. And even when games don't have it, I tend to inject it into them anyway. I can't help but do that. So a game like Crusader Kings 2, which is effectively a procedural, story generator, is amazing. But I could never really devote the time I would have needed to have gotten into Crusader Kings 2. Even without the DLC, it was still a pretty heavy game to even imagine trying to get into. It was a very, very dense game. It would have taken me a lot more time than I had to offer to it. This is a pretty amazing time for me to jump into Crusader Kings, because it's a new version, effectively, a new I'm not even sure what you necessarily say. It's not so much a version, but it's a sequel. But it doesn't have the massive breadth of DLC, so I'm not feeling like I'm already starting on the back foot. And beyond anything else, honestly, the game is just so much more comfortable to start playing. So much effort has been put in to making the enormous amounts of information and the amount of things you need to be keeping track of easier to see and easier to manage. I can get information a lot easier than I used to be able to in my very brief forays into Crusader Kings 2. And that is a huge part of the attraction for me. Platinum Rider. Yeah, I tried a few Paradox game grand strats before. They are daunting. Yeah, no, absolutely. The problem with Paradox Grand Strategy games, Manticore says, is the DLC always feel necessary, like you're missing out if you don't own all the DLC, at least to me. Well, I wouldn't say you are missing out, and that is literally the be-all, end-all. So if the only part you cared about was whether you were missing out or not, then the discussion stops there. You are, because there's stuff that you don't have that you could have if you had it. And it would be in your game, and you would have more stuff. So you are missing out by definition by not having the DLC. But what I would argue is that I don't think the DLCs have ever felt necessary. There has always been a game that was supremely enjoyable without the DLC. Stellaris is a really good example of that, because with every release of DLC, the base game got more featureful. but you didn't have the breadth of the DLC content. So I can completely appreciate where you're coming from. That it does feel like you're missing out, but I would hasten to add that you're not getting half of an experience from the game. The game is completely playable and balanced to be playable without the DLC. Trying out CK2 to see if I want to invest in CK3. Okay, cool. But again, CK3 and CK2, they are very different in how you'd approach them. I bought CK2 after spending dozens and dozens of hours on Stellaris and just couldn't get into it. I played for maybe 40 minutes and couldn't keep up. I mean, I can certainly appreciate that. It was a very, again, it was a very dense game for me to get into. Ultimately, the reason why I never spent the time to learn it and play it, because I knew I would enjoy it, is that there was always more pressing things demanding my time. You know, as my job, I have to weigh up, do I want to play this game or do I want to play that game? And if one of the parts of that decision comes down to, well, if I play this game, I first got to learn it for 2 weeks before I can play it. That's having to compete against, or I could play all of these other games which I can pick up and be good at more or less straight away off. Thank you so much, Sheila. Diolch. Sheila just brought me some more warm drinks. But I have to weigh up whether, like, from a business point of view, whether I want to spend 2 weeks learning a game before I'm making any content on it and thus starting to make money, or just jump into a plethora, like a flood of games which I could pick up and immediately start making content on and make money off. So there was a business reason why I couldn't, but I always wanted to. But it was that fact that, yeah, I'd probably need to spend 2 weeks before I felt confident enough to make content on this. Now is a really good time for me to jump in because it's a bit more of a level playing field. Obviously, anyone who's already very familiar with CK2 is already familiar with CK3. Some of the balancing might have changed, but more or less they understand how the game works. Whereas I'm having to learn that right now, but it feels a lot more attainable, a lot more approachable for me right now. Thank you for being awesome and the joy to watch on YouTube. Oh, you're more than welcome, Solo Avatar. Thank you very much for the cheer there. Let's see. Winged Flames. Well, the DLC is sometimes necessary because whilst you don't get the DLC and the game is balanced, it does introduce mechanics that the AI gets to use, but you don't. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. CK3 is hands down, as a more or less newcomer to the franchise. Again, I've tried CK2, but I had much a similar experience at 40 minutes in, or just trying to get through the tutorial, such that it was, and I was like, I haven't got a clue. I don't feel that I've learned anything. CK3 is significantly more newcomer friendly. Significantly more newcomer friendly. This madman is still going? I am, Ranger. A week ago, we were groaning under the heat. Now Aavak is happy about warm drinks again. Yes, pretty much. I'm always happy about warm drinks, because warm drinks usually mean tea. Though in this case, unless Sheila made tea with alcohol, this is strong Irish coffee. Because Lady Sheila knows that we are now playing Anna Raud. And things are going to change. Things have to change. We've got to bring all of Wales back together again. This requires Dark Aavak level of difficult decision making. Take it, knowing. Thanks for dropping by, mate. To be honest, CK2, I had 100 hours before I knew just somewhat what I was doing. Yeah, no, that is not an uncommon thing that I've heard people say, Longhoff. And that's why I, if nothing else, I would say that CK3, for me, has been a significantly more approachable experience. I would go as far as to say that CK3 has been a comfortable experience. From the moment I booted it up to the moment I decided, yeah, I can stream this. I feel confident enough that I could learn this in front of people and not feel like, oh my god, I am probably making people's eyes bleed. I was enjoying my time. It felt comfortable. It looked nice. It sounded nice. Things moved the way it kind of something I learned in uni was the idea of a well-designed thing impresses upon you how it should be used. You don't need to be told how to use it. It was actually used as a kind of an ironical kind of example of something, because by that definition, a doorknob is poorly designed. One of the most common things you'll ever see, because a doorknob by itself doesn't tell you which way the door is moving. A door handle quite often doesn't. If you need a sign on a door that says pull or push, poorly designed, because a well-designed door would have imparted to me the knowledge that how I should use it without me having to look up an instruction on how to do so. But a lot of the stuff that I was doing in here, the tutorial was saying, okay, you need to do this, and then you'd click on next and it'd be like, and you can find this bit of information here. But I'd already worked that out, because the icons impart enough information that I can at a glance tell, okay, that's probably where I would look up for information on my armies and how they're comprised. This is probably where I look for my council, or rather my court, the three kind of silhouetted heads. A lot of that is very easy. The realm info is the crown. Lots of that is really good, and the game does a very good job of, for a game that has no obvious goal, a very good job of giving you piecemeal things to consider. So very, very, very comfortable to play. CK2 is probably the roughest PDS title to get into. PDS only recently started actually trying to avoid hiding important information. Well, when I went to PDXCon, it was actually a pretty big thing that I looked into. But Manticore, thank you so much. I completely missed your sub a little while ago. I do apologize. Diolch yn fawr, mate. That is a huge sub. Thank you so much. But and thank you, Lady Sheila, for drawing my attention to it. But yeah, the when I was at PDXCon, that was actually one of the things. Like I was at the press event before the convention, and so we, as press, got to see it, and they gave us like more of a kind of a presentation, I guess. And one of the things that they really, really emphasized is that they more or less dialed right back to the beginning and started to build up the UI with the idea of how can we make this easier for people to use. Because right now we've got a great game, lots of people enjoy it, that tells us it's a great game, there's no question about that. The problem is that for anyone to enjoy it, they have to fight against the UI to enjoy it, and that's bad. That's a bad system. We need them to not have to spend their time fighting the UI to play the game and to get to the point where they can enjoy it. And so that was actually a pretty big takeaway from that press conference. But okay, I think we've had enough time of us just sitting around and me enjoying myself and having sips of this delicious drink. Thank you very much again, Lady Sheila. And we can get back to things. Anna Rout is going to have a lot of things to do. No, Deep Qantas, before I jump back to Anna Rout, regarding the whole door handle thing, the best designed door is a glass door, where on one side there's a flat plate, and on the other side there's a handle. Because you can look at that, instantly know the handle is on the side that I pull. The plate is on the side that I push. You can see through the door, so you can see both sides. You know it's not just a flat plate on both sides or a handle on both sides. You can see one side is different to the other. And the difference impresses upon me how I'm meant to use this door. That's the best design for a door handle. Is it one that you can see the both sides of, and they're different on each side in the way that you would need to use them. I mean, obviously you can get into there's a camera there, and it sees you coming, and the door automatically opens. I mean, yes, okay, that's a pretty well designed door, but you know what I mean. Who am I playing as? I am playing as Anna Roud right now, but I was playing as Rodri. We're playing as Wales. Would have just run into the door, to be honest. Okay. A dirty glass door. Clearly. A smudged glass. Anyway. Right, so we need to choose a lifestyle. Now, obviously, Anoraud is certainly not Rodri. What's the pity, really? Anoraud is much better with diplomacy, frankly, but does have a martial education. Okay. Vengeful, ambitious, callous, skilled. Alright. We're going to have a look into this. So, in terms of our situation here, focus on control of your realm, honourable conduct, and the strategies will win wars. I mean, we can push through this. We haven't got as much points in here. And we don't have any points anywhere else, more or less. Enduring hardships, hard rule. Strict organisation, a man's home. Paid and conscription, soldiers of lesser fortune. Absolute control. And observer. You gain the trait observer. What's observer then? Stewardship +2, martial +2. That's actually not too bad. Gallant would have been nice to have. What are our earnings like? Oh man, that's painful actually. That has dropped quite a lot. Alright. Well then, chat, what do you think we should go for? Martial? I'm feeling that we don't really have the money to wage many wars, but we could go with diplomat. Fertility might be important because, frankly, I fear that we may struggle to get heirs. No, we could respec, yeah. All your of your unlocked perks are refunded. You gain 125 stress. You lose the trait diplomat. No, I think we'll roll with what we got. Family focus, even if we do not choose them. Those closest to us are the most important. Diplomacy +2, fertility +20%. Diplomat, family hierarch, befriend. You can use a befriend scheme. A befriend scheme is a personal scheme that aims to make a scheme target one's friend. Okay. Groomed to rule. Children receive 1 to 3 extra skill points. Ooh. Heart of the family, close family, opinion +15, thicker than water. Personal scheme success chance +25 against family members. I mean, that's the wrong way to use that phrase, but sure. Each friend adds -5 stress gain. A friend scheme power +more. Friendly counsel. Each friend relation gives 2 random skill points. And sound foundations. Each living child gives 1 random skill point. And patriarch. You gain the title patriarch. Fertility +20%, stress loss +20%, close family opinion +15, household opinion +10. A man who's truly dedicated to his family and the prosperity of his house. I'm not sure. I think we're going to struggle a little bit. What do you think? What do you think, chat? I am kind of favouring diplomacy a little bit more. Right now, I think going with diplomacy to start with is gonna work out a little bit better for us. Prestige. Let's have a look at. I'm gonna have to work my relationship up with my wife so hard. Plush and exotic carpet. Monthly prestige +20%. Hostile scheme resistance -10. Hidden nooks and crannies. Scheme resistance +8. Okay, that's not too bad. I've really got to get my piety up. I've got an earldom of the Isle of Man. Okay. Really? That's interesting. 1 claim over there. My mother is still around. Both of my children are old altarist. That's actually not too bad. Just curious at the moment. You're honest and curious. Honest is a nice one because it's currently seen as a virtue in our religion. All right. I think we're going to go with diplomacy. And I think we're going to start down the family tree. So I'm going to work on... It feels bad because I'm coming to this game with modern mores and morals, and that's not how it's going to play out the best way. That's why I need the coffee. But I hope that Anoraud can find some happiness in life. We are going to need to beget sons and daughters. Sons at the moment, until we can reform the church, or reform our faith. Later on, hopefully, we can reform our faith in such a way that I don't think... Can you just adopt? I don't know. But hopefully later on, we can reform the faith so that people don't have to make choices and sacrifice their love of life in order to just do silly things like, have an heir. But we'll see. Now, we can, of course, rely on our siblings, and we could just plow all of our attention and desire into that in order to make sure that the family line continues and we pass our title on to siblings. I mean, we've got 2 children as it is, but we'll see how it goes for now. Right, that one's one step closer. I'm still thinking as Rodrian. I just want my son to be happy. I just want him to have a happy life, whatever that life is. Heavy hangs the head that wears the crown. Yeah, we will be educating them, don't you worry. Empty council positions. Yes, we need to take care of that. But first, agent joined scheme. Mayor Cecil, Mayor of Wrexham, has joined as an agent in your scheme to murder... I was plotting to kill my... What? It was Anoraud the whole time. Anoraud was the one who was trying to kill Idwal the whole time, and he just recruited his mother into the scheme. Poor Idwal is never getting a break. Oh, don't worry. We are going to be working... Like, my goal for this isn't to make Wales comparable to modern society. In fact, it's to take it backwards. I don't particularly like the fact that it's surrounded by the mores and morals of Christianity. Let's go back to the simple times, when everything was about sex, death, and religion. Much better, much easier, much nicer, honestly. A little bit more violent sometimes, but also, it was an honest violence. An honest violence for a more civilized age. Okay. So I've been trying to kill my half-brother. Great. Knight has arrived. Needed my summons and arrived. Good. And task finished. Okay. We've got many things that we need to work on. Lifestyle, family focus. Good. That's all sorted. I will deal with the children in a moment. I need to get my council set up. Half-brother means only half the attachment. I mean... Merkburp. Hello, Aavak and chat. Going to watch the VOD so I can see this from the beginning later, and I can't wait. I'm really glad you're excited, mate. Half brother, half murder. That reminds me of one of my friends were around my house when I was younger, and my brother was being so annoying. And in a very, very tongue-in-cheek way, you know, my friend said, "Oh, I want to throttle him," and my mother turned around, just laughing, and said, "Don't kill your brother," and to me. And so my friend just said, "What about half killing him?" It's like, Yeah, that seems fair. We'll just leave him half alive. Totally fair. You know, we're meeting halfway. Come on, this is how negotiations work. I thought it made sense myself. Right. Ooh. Ooh. Well. Can I get you on the council? Because you're an amazing. Okay, there we are. That's a little bit better. That's a tiny bit better. Okay. You can't spell feudal without feud. That's true. I wasn't poisoned the top half. Right, we need to work on this. No, stop trying to fabricate claims. For now, just focus on everything else. Let's have a look. Discover secret schemes. Murder Prince Idwal. Okay, Prince Idwal is in significantly more trouble now. What am I meant to do with this? I've inherited a murderous... what's it called? Fratricide. This is not fun. Naughty. Primary heir, liege. Okay. I'm going to say, don't just go out and try to kill your half-brother right now. Yes. Almost all of them are... Oh, vengeful sin. Everything's considered certain traits to be sinful. Characters with these traits incur opinion penalties from all characters who consider those traits sinful, even if they do not share the same faith. In addition, characters who have the trait... I think someone knows about Anoraud. Was discovered. Okay. But the thing is, at this point, I've got to stop thinking as Rodri. We are now Anoraud. And what is better for Anoraud? That's what we've got to really think about. I attempted to? Did I fail? I must have. Now, how many... I'm actually not holding that many areas. I would have assumed that I held all of these, but perhaps I don't. Damn. I got this. I got... What? Okay, well... Anoraud, being the heartless scallywag that he was, is totally on board with taking out Prince Idwald, and because it's going to give most of these areas back. No one is going to join us because no one likes us. Absolutely no one. So we're going to need to work on that for now. Who do I want to work on first? Okay, I've got one Republic over here. Powerful Vassal. Wants a seat on the council. You've got a seat on the council. Let's go ahead and start swaying. Next, let's shuffle people around so we actually... see, this is the problem. I do need... Whereas Rodri was able to replace a lot of these peeps with non-powerful vassals because his sons liked him enough. That is not necessarily the case for me. Okay, well, let's find anyone that needs to be on there. Right. Do we have anyone who's particularly good with... I mean, you're a 10, that's not bad. You're a 6. You're a 10 in martial, which isn't terrible. Yeah, 13 in martial. Okay, that's also a little bit better. We've got 11. In stewardship. 10 in learning as well. Well, let's go for Prince Mervyn. Is there a way that I can do that from here? No, there isn't. Okay, well, I'll need to do it from over here then. There we go. Go ahead and assign. Don't. Okay, so that's reduced some issues. A little bit. Getting rid of a 17 martial, though. But right now, I just need a way to quickly sort this right now. Okay, a 13 martial. It's not terrible, I guess. Okay. Okay, starting to get a little bit better. Maybe diplomacy would be a good move right now. General opinion, increases effectiveness of diplomacy schemes.